Before I get started, I must warn you that this is going to be one of those talky videos. So for those of you that don't like that or get a little bored, I do have a big mystery box review coming up. Just waiting for those to arrive. Should be a lot of fun. But this video is kind of a reaction to myself, because in the last one, I was pretty harsh towards a couple of eBay sellers. Said some pretty mean things. I believe I said there was possible feces and jizz on the items, which isn't nice. But to my defense, I feel the word feces and jizz are just funny. The word jizz is funny to me. And ever since the pandemic started, here in house plastic, hand sanitizer has slowly morphed into clear jizz. When it's needed around here, it's just like, hey yo, hit me with some of that clear jizz. That's just how we roll around here. That's the maturity level that you're dealing with, alright? But honestly, eBay sellers are just one side of the coin. If you've ever thought about, hey, maybe I'll get rid of some of my old collection. Or look, I found, 4 or 5 really hot new pops. Let me try to go flip them on eBay. Fair enough, everybody's got to make their dollar, right? But buyers can be just as big of a headache as bad eBay sellers. Oh, and if you're wondering what's going on here, I was kind of going through some of my recent things I picked up. A couple things from eBay. Found this at Target. Had a bent card. Putting a little weight on it so it flattens out, looks nice and crispy. At the end of the video, I'll take this off, see if it worked. I just didn't want to clear off the table. Plus, you got something to look at, right? So I don't have a big, huge eBay store. I may have 15 to 20 items for sale that are old, I just don't want anymore. They're sitting in a closet, and maybe they're better in somebody else's collection. Do I give them away? Hell no. Of course I charge a premium, right? It's just normal collecting. But even with such a small store, I have had several different types of problem buyers. So I can just imagine what it's like for people that have stores with 3,000, 4,000 items. So what are these problem buyers that you can run into that can end up costing you money, making everything a big headache, and wishing you never would have started selling on eBay to begin with? This first type has happened to me a couple of times. So when you sell something on eBay, you can get all your shipping done through eBay. As long as you got a scale, you can weigh out your packages. You can print your labels right at home. Now, you yourself don't put in the buyer's address. They put that in. So guess what you run into sometimes? Insufficient or incorrect address. And eBay doesn't pick it up all the time. Sometimes you pay for the label, you take it to the post office, it gets scanned in, and at the end of the line, it can't be delivered because the address is just incorrect. And then this kind of buyer comes to you instead of the post office to try to get a full refund for their own mistake. They should know their own address, you know what I mean? And it's not the seller's fault that they put it in wrong. So you can either go back and forth with this type of person or just give them a refund, but now you're out the pop and you're out the money. Or you can fight it, and it's a big waste of time, right? Another type of buyer that you run into that requests a refund will be the people that are buying something for an anniversary or a birthday. I distinctly remember one time somebody was buying a present for somebody else. And I get a message. I forget what month it was, but I distinctly remember the number 15 being the important date. And they're like, oh, I needed this pop by the 15th. It was a present. Can I get a refund? Because it's not here yet. Then I go look at the order. I look at the tracking and I see they ordered it on the 10th. Okay, that's 5 days. And if there's a weekend in between there or a holiday, it's going to be longer. Now you look at the tracking. The item, the package, is in transit on the way to this person's place. And if you give them a refund, what? They're just going to get that package and send it back to you out of the kindness of their own heart? Definitely not. You have no recourse as a seller. They can wait and get the pop and then request a refund, and then you have to pay for another shipping label because this person can't figure out that if they order something on the 10th, it's not going to get to them by the 15th. In reality, they'd probably need it by the 14th if they're going to wrap it, if it's a present. And that's if you choose to believe what they're saying, right? So you'll run into those kind of buyers too. Another type of person you'll run into is complete time wasters. There are times when I'm unloading maybe a pop that's 4 years old and it's still only worth $15 and it's just taking up space. And I don't want it anymore. I don't have the heart to just throw it away. I don't want it taking up space in my closet anymore. So I'll list it. Pretty much for retail price, right? And I will take pictures of all sides, highlight any damage. But you will still get people that want close-ups, that want more pictures, that they want to ask you a million questions over this $15 pop. And that's fine, right? But sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, dude, I'm going to sit here sending you 20 pictures over a $15 pop. Like, give me a break. You'll get time wasters. If you don't put a best offer on your listing, right? You put, hey, the price for this is $20. Take it or leave it. You'll get people messaging going, will you take 10? Stuff like that. Just big waste of time, right? I mean, if you offer a best offer and people lowball you, well, that's fine, right? Because you can set to automatically reject, you know, if you're selling something for 50, you can automatically tell it to reject anything under 35, for example. But you'll still get people that'll directly message you wanting to lowball you. You'll also get people that want you to take the pop out of the box and take pictures of the actual pop, which is pretty ridiculous as well. It's like, give me a break. It's a collectible. I'm not going to be opening and closing it just for you. And what's even worse about all that stuff is when I have sent additional pictures to people, guess what doesn't happen? They don't buy the item. Not because the pictures reveal anything. It's just like, okay, here's another picture of the bottom. It actually looks better in this picture. But then you'll never hear back. That's about 99% of the time. 99% of the time when people ask, oh, can I get more pictures? Or even when they ask for a lower price when you're not offering best offer. I've done that too, where I think I was selling something for like $40. And someone's like, will you take 30? I said, no, I'm not. I won't take 30, sorry. And then they message back going, will you take 35? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I will. So you can reply with the offer going, okay, fine. 35? Here, you can have it for 35. That's what they asked for. You send it to them. You never hear back. Just a waste of time. Lots and lots of time wasters. This next one has only happened to me once. And I don't know, I kind of feel like there was some kind of foul play going on. Guy orders a pop. I think it was like one of those venomized pops, right? So it's one of these like cool guy pops, right? One of these pops for dudes that don't like cute things, man. The venomized pops, right? So I look around. I grab a box that's the right size. Nice strong box. Throw some bubble wrap on the pop, which was in a protector. You put it in this box in a way where no amount of jostling, no amount of the mailman tossing the box into his car is going to ruin this pop. But the mistake I made was that this box I picked had just girly things stamped on it, like all over it, right? So if this guy got this box, right, and he's one of these dudes, oh, just girly things. I don't know, maybe he went into some kind of a meninist rage, right? Because he sends these pictures to me of this box. It looks like he put it on the ground and literally jumped up in the air and stomped on it with both feet. Like the box was completely crushed. I'm like, dude, there's no way a box is going to look like it got hit with a sledgehammer repeatedly in the mail. It's just not, that's not the kind of damage that the post office does. And if that's the case, you go and you take that box to the post office and you complain to them. Because how is that in my control, right? So of course he wants a refund. So I go, well, sorry, but I'm not just going to give you a refund without getting the product back, even if it's damaged. So he had an issue with that, even though I'm paying for the shipping. And that's the only time that's happened. And I do, like, it's just a conspiracy theory, but I do feel like this guy got triggered by the just girly things on the box. Like maybe he thought I was trying to insult him or something. Who knows? Auctions. Auctions are a nightmare. I don't recommend putting anything up for auction because usually the auction brings you less money. And you may think, oh, well, the auction is quicker. Well, not when half of the time that you auction off something, no matter if it sells for $100, $1,000, or $10, people just don't pay. They don't pay. And sometimes, I don't know if it's people that have like a similar thing up for auction as you and they want to sabotage you, or it's just people that don't understand how auctions work, or they win an auction, then they grab their laptop and throw it out the window. Who knows what these people do? But never sell anything on auction. You'll get less money. Half the time people don't pay. Your item gets wrapped up in this dumb process. And it's by far one of the most annoying things that eBay buyers do. And lastly, this final one is kind of more of a sign of the times kind of deal. When you sell on eBay, like I said earlier, you print all your labels through eBay. And you slap them on your boxes. And if you're pressed for time, you can just go drop them off at the post office. And you assume they're safe and sound, right? But every once in a while, I'd say, I don't know, a good 5% of the time, they'll never scan it in. And I've noticed that even with packages that I buy and I'm receiving, if I try to track them, they'll just say that, label was made, but it's never been scanned in by the post office. It's just it's a waiting pickup or it's a waiting to be scanned or whatever it is. I forget the exact terminology, but basically telling you that printing label has been made, but it hasn't been taken to the post office. And that's not because the seller didn't take it to the post office. It's because at the post office, they didn't scan it in for some reason. Maybe you took too many things or they're overwhelmed and some dummy just grabbed it and threw it in the back or whatever, right? Now, I've bought things that's happened and I actually received the items, right? But there's no proof of that on eBay or USPS because they never really scanned it. Or some glitch in their system prevents you from doing that. Somehow the mail still gets here though. So I know it's not the seller and I know it's the post office because I've had experience both ways. Now, why is that an issue? Because in this day and age, it seems like we admire, we reward kind of like grifting, scammy type of behavior. So you'll get people that have received the package, right? Because like I said, I'll receive packages sometimes where it doesn't show up as delivered on eBay. And people can very easily just say they didn't get it. And there you really have no recourse, really. Because it looks like you just lost it somewhere between your house and the post office. And I'm not saying every buyer is trying to scam you when that happens, but I guarantee you, you will get messages every single time it does. And if you can't talk your way out of it, or if this person sees the opportunity where they can get a free pop and their money back, you know, it's a behavior that just seems to be rewarded nowadays. And the way you can protect yourself from this is, unfortunately, the convenience. If you have a bad post office, which I do, the convenience of being able to print your labels at home and dropping them off isn't an option for you. You have to make sure your packages are scanned. So you find a time when the post office is less busy, so you can get them to grab your package, weigh it, scan it, make sure it's in that system. So if there's any problem with addresses or weight or just their own negligence in not scanning your damn packages, it just turns into something you don't have to stress about anymore because you've made sure they scan it, they give you the receipt for it. So now buyers can't pull that little trick on you. All right, so have I scared you enough from trying to sell stuff on eBay? Don't be. It's usually pretty safe. And of course, these instances aren't the norm. But if you're going to sell on eBay, be prepared to have to deal with these type of buyers. And just make sure you don't cut any corners so you can protect yourself as a seller. Always package up things properly. Always make sure the post office scans them. Always make sure your tracking is uploaded. And familiarize yourself with the whole returns process, the claims process on eBay before you even get started. Because you don't want it to happen to you right after you sell, your first $300 pop, which is something you should be proud of as a collector, right? That you were able to pick something up at retail because of your good taste or accurate speculation or whatever reason. And to have it blow up in your face because you didn't familiarize yourself with this process or protect yourself accordingly really sucks. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you listening to this probably have sold stuff on eBay. And if you have for a while, I'm sure you've had at least one problem customer. And if you have, I welcome you to share your story in the comments below. All right, was I able to flatten out my Jake the Snake? Let's see. Yeah, see, that worked like a charm. So I found this at Target, and where it was put in was a little too small. Like the peg came out, and there was like a little advertisement thing here. So they forced it in, and these two edges were bent in. I looked at it carefully. It didn't seem creased. Or maybe a little bit. See that little crease right there? That's where it was bent in. But now after doing that, maybe I'll leave it a little longer, maybe overnight. Slowly but surely, that'll flatten out.